Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn. I do videos on astrology and Feng Shui, and today we are talking about astrology. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button if you like videos like this, because it really helps out the channel. And if you don't know me, again, welcome to the channel. I am a professional astrologer. I've been doing astrology for a long time. I've written 16 books. I write a weekly sun signs column on sunsigns.com. I also write for horoscope.com and astrology.com. And in the description box below, there is a link to a PDF if you need a copy of your chart, which does include my email, where you can just send me your information and I will send you a copy of your chart. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Sagittarius natives, you are doing this eclipse in your house of passive income sources, resources from others, investments, intimacy, basically anything that you would get from someone else, and this eclipse could be disrupting that. It is also asking you to look and see if there's a different way of doing things in partnership with other people. Because this is a 0-degree eclipse, it's not going to be clear exactly how to do that. It is just a suggestion that you be open to doing it. And so when we look at this eclipse here, if you were expecting some resources from others, say a bank loan, or you were counting on your business or things like that, you are going to see things come through. But at the point of this eclipse, Mercury is retrograde, so that means there are some delays. So in the overall picture, over the next few weeks, and especially over the next few months, things will come through for you, but initially there is going to be some delays, and that may mean you need to make some phone calls or reach out to people. And I say this because this eclipse is taking that inconjunct from that Saturn in your third house of communication at 0 degrees. So this is about reaching out to someone, maybe not planning exactly what you're going to say, just reaching out to them and saying, hey, just checking in. And that brings you back up to the top of their list. Now, if this is about business, this is very easy to do, just pinging them. If it's more of a personal matter, if this is something that you're working out with family or your spouse, then you have to go in a little bit more gently, because it's possible they got hit by the eclipse as well. And so there could be some things that they're dealing with. And so the Saturn at 0 says to be understanding, that, to recognize when to give them a little space and when to say, hey, is there anything that I can do on my side to get this thing moving? So, and this mirrors what's going on with the North Node, South Node placement. The North Node is going now through your house of relationships. So we have lots of energy and activity around that for the next 18 months. And now especially because the North Node's at a critical degree and just in your house. And that means that if you were looking to meet someone, this is a great time to be reaching out to people, of course, through social media, because we're still social distancing, but starting that conversation, as well as clearing out any blocks that you might have that have been holding you back from relationship or holding you back from what you want, and going within. And that's where the South Node there is going through your first house, saying that you could use spiritual means or healing modalities to help you clear out whatever were the obstacles for going forward when it comes to relationships. Now, this is actually focused in by that Mars that is going through your fourth house in Pisces, and that says that there is possibly things from childhood, from maybe the family dynamic or family pattern, or even past lives that are causing you to hesitate in moving forward in the direction you want when it comes to relationships. Now, the Mars in Pisces says that you can use spiritual means, talking to the universe, journaling, and doing meditation to help you clear those blocks. And it does say that you have a choice to do this, because you can, with this T-square energy, go back to that South Node in Sagittarius and just do the easy, I'm this way, I'm never going to change. Or you can go towards personal growth and towards your spiritual life by doing that North Node in Gemini and saying, I'm going to just try this. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if tapping works, or maybe you don't know if self-hypnosis techniques work, or biofeedback, or any of these things, but you just try them and see what happens. Now, on the same topic of relationship, we have Venus retrograde in your 7th house of relationships and Mercury retrograde in your house of resources from others. So the Venus retrograde says that a love from your past may return. Now, the Venus retrograde could say that that person may not have changed, even though you think they might. So the relationship may go back into an old pattern, but you have grown, you have changed. And so the dynamic there could change. And that is, if the person does the same thing because they're stuck in a pattern, you don't have to be. You don't have to respond the same way. You can move forward and see if you can take the relationship in a new direction. Now, it also says that when you're out there meeting new people, that you might find someone who really reminds you of a person from the past. And so therefore you would be repeating this pattern again. Maybe they have the same name, maybe they have physical characteristics that look the same, or some mannerisms that remind you of that person, and recognize that you are redoing that energy. And that can mean that you go back into an old pattern. So again, focus your energy on doing the harder thing, and that is to break the old pattern. The Mercury retrograde also is something we were talking about before, as it is bringing some delays in resources from others, but it's just a matter of keeping those lines of communication open and being patient while that Mercury is moving backwards. When we look at your home life, we have Neptune and the Mars in Pisces there. Now, this combination can bring some issues around things that contain water in the house. So that would be the water heater, pipes, the toilet. So drains might be stopped up, or there could be leaks somewhere. So you want to take care of those, and you want to be extremely aware of those while they're happening, because things like that can be a sign that there's some emotional issues going on in the home. And so as you clear the physical problem, then you get insight from the universe on how to clear the spiritual or emotional problem. Also, of course, if you are having consistent water issues over and over and over again in your home, and you are a water sign, this could be a message from the universe that this is not the right place for you. I'm thinking about doing some videos on how to find the ideal home. If you're interested in that, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Now, otherwise, this says that there's a lot of spiritual activity possible in the home. That could be meditation or yoga, prayer, lighting candles, and that's a very good thing. You might want to set up a little sacred space, like a little altar, so that you can really focus your energy and put out to the universe what it is that you and your family want. When it comes to your career, it's ruled by that Mercury retrograde, which does mean, again, that there are some delays happening. That is, maybe you are scheduled to go back to work, and yet there is some back and forth. People are uncertain. Maybe you're feeling uncertain of whether that's a good idea. So that needs an open conversation with your supervisor. It also does mean, though, if you were looking for a job, or if you were wondering if you were going to go back, you will indeed be going back, but there are some delays in the beginning. And so while Mercury is retrograde, things may not move forward. That's okay. They will be moving forward soon. Now, also recognize that if you do go back into an old position during Mercury retrograde, or you're starting a new job during Mercury retrograde, that the next retrograde that happens, and I'll put those dates up on the screen, could mean a time where there is some sort of disruption again, where you're rethinking whether you should be there. And so that, you know, if you had a choice, you would want to go in outside of this retrograde period. If that is not possible, just be aware that during those dates, you're going to feel tempted to leave again, or there could be some disruption in your work at that time. So have, all your preparations ready just in case that happens. Now, in your second house for your money, you have Pluto conjunct Jupiter for the second time. It happened in April. It's happening now. It's going to happen again in November. And this is a really important aspect, because this is your decision or determination that you are going to have security and prosperity in your life and that you're going to make it a priority. And so this aspect helps that. So if that's already on your mind, this is the thing that can transform your life. And it does it through some sort of subtle information. It is not some, like big, like, here's a whole suitcase of cash. It is a different attitude that you have that creates that flow for you. Now, this Jupiter here brings you lots of luck and opportunities. That's true. The Pluto, though, causes it to be a transformation of yourself. And so that is, the luck happens as you change, as you look at what your blocks are and say, I am not going to be doing that anymore. So however you define yourself, if you define yourself as a person who sees money opportunities and acts on them, that's really going to help. If you are a person that says, I love to grow, I love to learn, that indeed is going to help. Additionally, this house is pulling money from the Saturn. That's your house of communication. So that says that you can make money through communication, transportation, things in the neighborhood, things dealing with writing, teaching, movement, things like dance, also singing and music. So all of these things are ways you can be making money right now. When we look at your money derived from investments or passive income sources, as well as royalties, residuals, things made from, or money made from business or from specific partnerships, you actually do have a good house. Even though you're doing the eclipse energy, which does cause a change, it does say that you have a great potential for this period to make money, that there is going to be so many people who are actually telling you that these are the opportunities and you're in a place where you can hear it. Now, it's all going to be about how willing you are to step outside your comfort zone. And that's not about taking these huge risks or things like that. That's just a step outside your comfort zone. That might be that you open up a brokerage account just with $100. And maybe that's the first time you've ever done some sort of investment. Maybe that is that you go to somebody and you say, look, I offer these products and would you like to consider looking at them? I mean, just toe in the water, just so subtle. But as you expand your world, then the universe opens up and pours abundance on you. When we look at your money derived from career, we have it ruled by that Venus retrograde in the 7th house, and that means that you do have to have open communication with supervisors or people who are in that decision-making process. So, because there are showing some delays and some confusion about what to do and where you're supposed to be and all of that. But once it starts going in a couple of weeks, the money will be flowing in quite nicely and you won't have a problem after that. When we look at windfalls and risky investing and gambling and things like that, we still have that Chiron going through there. So if you have been working on a system or, really putting the effort in, you could see some gains this period. But I always want to caution you because right now, the only aspect you're doing is an out of sign sextile, and that's not as reliable. So the energy is still pretty wonky. It's going to be hard for you to get a handle on that. So just if you're going to make any sort of wagers or things, you just want those to be quite small. You just want to go very, very slowly during this period because the energy is still unsettled. And if you find all of this financial talk really interesting, check out my program on Udemy on finding the hidden money in your chart. That link is in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for sticking with me for the whole thing. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, and keep letting the stars guide your way.